All right, everyone, welcome back to another episode of The Search. It's been a while. Today's guest is a graffiti artist and rapper who was locked up for the biggest graffiti raid in Melbourne history. He was part of a crew who impersonated metro workers to get through security at train yards. Police alleged they were behaving like an organised crime group and used explosives. Since then, this lad has gone on to drop his debut album just last month, featuring the likes of Posse Shot and Taunts. His name's DOA. Welcome to The Search, brother.
Cheers, brother. Thank you
Straight off the bat, what do you mean explosives? That's news to me. I just read that for the first time.
That's just like something blown out of proportion on the news to make it seem like we're doing
like
more
everything.
hectic shit than we're doing, you know what I mean?
What were they referring to?
So like inside the train cabins where train drivers obviously drive the train, there's like a box with like some safety shit in it, and there's things called detonators. And it's like so if there's track workers on the train tracks, they put these detonators on the tracks, like say 200 meters down where they're working from, just in case like a fly-through train comes. Once a train goes over these detonators, it sounds like a gunshot. So like if you're working yada yada yada, hear a gunshot, you know, sweet, fuck off the tracks, you know what I mean? But man, they're just sitting in train cabins, and we had the keys to the trains. So we were just getting in there, taking them for fun, putting them on a train station, and just watching them go off and watch.
And look how they word it.
I know, bro, and then they have like, cause it's explosives and that. My mate had a box of them in his car when we got raided, and they had like the bomb squad down there with like the robot arm and shit getting in his car, picking it out, and that. It's not like something that you can just explode with a button. It's like it has to have the pressure of the train.
So is it similar to like starters pistols, how they have those
yeah,
squares?
I guess so. Yeah, it's kind of like, I'd say like, I bet that big, and then it's just got like two metal prongs that click.
Oh, so it's pretty big.
Right, it's pretty big, bro. Like, and then it's like got these two prongs that like click onto the bottom of the train track, so it like stabilizes it. And then once the train drives over it, there's no other pressure that like pops it either.
So for the title of this podcast, I can put the graffiti artist who exploded trains. To get all the clicks.
I guess you can say that. Yeah, but it's like just something blown out of proportion, bro. They try to label us as like a organised crime unit using explosives, disguises, you know what I mean? But it's just like, even the disguises, bro, like it'd just be like a balaclava with like a metro vest. That's a disguise to them, you know what I mean? And we're having the keys to the yards and trains, so they think we're on some.
Sounds hectic.
Some like Ocean's 11 operation, you know what I mean?
So, bro, you grew up in West Melbourne.
Yep.
What's going on in West Melbourne, brother? What's it like there? Is that where we are right now?
Yeah, we're West Melbourne, bro. You're in the hood.
Where are we right now?
We're Yarraville.
Yarraville.
Yeah, Yarraville. So I'm living in Footscray, which is down the road pretty much. But I grew deep west, bro. Werribee, which is like end of the train line. There's nothing else past it, you know what I mean?
So anything further, you leave in Melbourne?
Anything, pretty much. And I consider anything on the Melbourne Metro train map, that's kind of like Melbourne, you know what I mean? Anything that's like V-line or it's rural, that's not really not really a city, you know what I mean?
All right, lads, listen, before we get started, today's episode is brought to you by Manscape, the Lawnmower 4.0. I'm telling you, I promise you, this is the body clipper I use. It's waterproof. Look, it's got a light on it, right? It's wireless charging. I just keep it in the shower. It's a mad body clipper. I shave my chest, I shave my head. Why not? Why not? It shaves everything, right? It's really reliable. One wireless charge. It comes on a mad stand, right? Plugs in a USB charger. One wireless charge. I sit it up on the shower. I promise you 2 weeks. It's just a mad, reliable body clipper. You can get it for your partner. If you're a woman out there, get it for your partner. He'll love it. I promise you he'll love it. Anyway, I got a code for you. Code Spanian, 20% off. When you go on their website, order the Lawnmower 4.0, get the whole package. Code Spanian, 20% off. I promise you, you'll love it. Oj.
But yeah, I grew deep west, and bro, fuck, there's not really much out there, I'd honestly say that like majority of people out that way do not leave. Like it's, you know, they live in this suburb for 20 years of their life. They live there till they have their kids, this and that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, bro, fuck, the west is just where it's at. I think like, I don't know, I think it's because I'm from around here, I can say it, but you can tell we're cut from a different cloth around here, you know what I mean? Yep. We're not like the rest. We're not like, it's not like how it is everywhere else. Everyone's trying to be a matey, this and that. And it's and just like with the graffiti aspect too, it's like a lot of people, they know the rep around here. I'm not trying to fucking big note myself, but the boys in that, bro, I'm telling you, bro, they put like, we don't need any respect in our name because like we've got it already. Put years in these streets, bro. I've got the boys that they've been in this crew for what, 20 years, I think. Like this is it runs pretty deep, bro. It's not just like a crew you're chopping people doing the same hobbies. Like we're all boys. You know what I mean? You don't just come in off the street and, you know, I mean, you get to kick it with us. Like we all, we all do the same shit. And yeah, the West, man, I guess there's nothing really. Oh, look, I shouldn't say it's not it's shit, but like there's nothing really promising out here. That's why we just stuck to graffiti and doing whatever.
And graffiti's a big thing in Melbourne, eh?
Massive, brother.
Like that's something us in Sydney know.
Yeah.
That graffiti is like a big graffiti in Melbourne.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
people in Melbourne love graffiti.
Yeah,
You go
okay,
there and
yeah.
the graffiti.
See,
Like, there's
it's like-
people graffiti in Sydney, but it's not a big thing.
Yeah,
You know what I
I
mean?
guess it's like second nature to here, so you wouldn't really know what it's like elsewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've noticed like going to Sydney that like the graffiti's different. Like we've got a lot of like things that get painted here don't really get painted in Sydney. Like you'll have the city fucking trashed here with graph, and then you go to Sydney and it's pretty clean.
Yeah.
But then you go to outer suburbs and it's fucking trashed with graph, and then you come here, go to outer suburbs, it might be relatively clean. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's different everywhere
Also,
you go.
yeah, so you notice that.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
different
it's
spots.
Yeah, different spots, different things. Like obviously, like there's trains in both cities, and I think, in my opinion, I think trains get painted more in Sydney nowadays.
Oh, that's it.
So there's like different cultures, you know what I mean, subcultures as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's around here. There was nothing else to do but just tag
Yeah,
shit and hang out with the boys, and that's it. You know.
How old are you?
28.
28.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm not too young, but
How do you notice that scene here? Is it stronger than it used to be, or is it say the association with Melbourne and graffiti and hip hop?
Yep.
Right. Do you think that is, which is a strong association?
Yeah, 100%.
Right?
It's like the same thing, really. Yeah,
I think even up until like maybe 5 years ago, if you weren't from Melbourne, were you even a rapper?
Yeah. Okay.
You get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
And so like, is that strengthening in Melbourne or?
Oh, yes and no. No doubt, like even older heads would say the era's changed 100 times. Fuck, I reckon.
Like everywhere,
Yeah,
right?
like everywhere.
Yeah, you can go to Brazil in the old
Yeah,
times,
that's it. And
they'll be saying, it used to be like this.
Yeah. I would say it's changed a fair bit. Like every man and their dog does it these days, bro. Like honestly, back in the day, like it was, you'd almost like, you know how you say like you didn't want to rap in jail because like you're scared of what people are thinking, that or whatever. It's a bit like not embarrassing, but like it's not as much like you wouldn't want to really do it.
It was for gronks.
Exactly. It's not really. I'm not saying it's for gronks down here, but bro, back in the day, it was like if you graphed, you had to hold it down, brother. Like you're not just like some kid walking on the street with a can, brother. Back in the day, you get rolled for your shoes. Like if you had even like the slightest bit of a trainer on your feet, you're getting them taken off your feet. People wouldn't be able to walk in the city because crews would be rolling 10, 15 deep. It was like it wasn't for everyone back in the day. And now,
so it was something that you're signing up for and stepping into, as opposed to just a style that anyone could wear.
Exactly. And it was like, it was.
That's relevant to Sydney too.
Yeah, 100%. It's just nowadays every man and their dog does it, bro. Everyone from you know what I mean, kids in school still doing it to there's still 40-year-old people still painting, you know what I mean? But look, I think it's a lot of buddy shit, you know what I mean? Like everyone wants to be friends with painting with him, and you know what I mean? But yeah, I think like with the West too, it's really like we like to keep to ourselves, you know what I mean? Like we have mates obviously outside of the West and that, but man, you're not really getting in our friendship circle and that. But now, like I said, nowadays I think everyone's just, he paints him, his graph's fresh, let's go paint with him to make the link, you know what I mean? It's not really how it used to be.
Well, you know, this conversation. No one ever spoke like that in Sydney.
Yeah, okay.
To put into perspective, so I'm from the hood in Sydney. What used to be really bad,
100%,
right? Waterloo, Redfern, those areas.
Yeah.
And growing up in jail, I've spoken to the boys from anywhere in Sydney, from west to the south to the north. And that exactly is the difference there. So see how you have, you call yourself a graffiti crew, and you have this like a separation and a pride and stuff like that. It doesn't exist in Sydney.
Yeah, okay.
Like I've never heard that conversation come from anyone. Yeah, like to talk about it like that. At most, there'd be like one of the boys, and he graphs on the side.
Yeah, okay.
And he don't really talk about it, you know? He's
yeah.
just like, oh, yeah, you know, matey, he can graph too. It's like,
graph.
what a spin out.
Yeah, maybe like you said, because the culture's heaps deep here, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's why.
That's
like
it, yeah. So even that's like intriguing how you're talking like that. And I'm painting this thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm painting it like, the boys out there and they're graphing. It's like, you know when you watch them old, what's their movies, bro? Like Blood In, Blood Out. And matey comes and sprays in his back lane. Bro, he's spraying in our back lane. Let's go chop these idiots.
Bro. It's exactly what it's like around here, brother. I don't really like, I'm not saying that's the way it should be, but that's the way us boys are kind of raised. Like, it's just, it was a lot But like I'm telling, like not even like 7 years ago, I reckon 2 minutes down the road, Footscray, bro, you'd honestly wouldn't want to be caught walking around there on your own. Like not saying just graffiti related, I'm talking just in general.
Yeah.
Like it was just a rough spot. Like there's still rough spots around Melbourne, kind of inner city and that. But yeah, but look, people wouldn't even come here with a spray can, bro, because you wouldn't even want to be caught doing that. Maybe hustlers will see you on the street and pull you up or whatever.
Yeah.
But
And how did down here? I'm saying this is completely off. This is in my own interest. No, the paper. How did say these times and these boys, the graffiti crews? How did they dress? Did they dress what us in Sydney would call searchers? What we'd call ourselves as searchers? Like, what was the style? Did you just wear Asics and Nikes? Are these Nautica wearing?
Like, it's all developed like over the years, but like you could say that like
or is it like American hip hop style?
No, you could say that like maybe when you see people that are like first starting to get into the culture of like, you know what I mean, having TNs and Air Maxes and painting and catching trains or whatever, maybe like at the start of their journey or whatever it is that they probably dress like a searcher in that. But man, like us boys, it's not even really a graph crew, bro. It's just the boys who all have the same hobby and shit. But I haven't painted for 4 years. You know what I mean? We just done our time and shit. It's already fucking done, dusted. But still, obviously, there's some boys still painting that. But bro, we're just mates. Like, if we dress the same, I guess that's just coincidental. You know what I mean? It's not like you have a fit. You know what I mean? I'm a grapher, so I'm going to start dressing like this. You know what I mean? But I guess like if it is it does happen a bit. Like if you start in graph, you do dress like a searcher. And it's like the young kids, like street kids. You know what I mean? Bum bags, this and that. I guess it's a bit played out like that.
And that refers to before what you were saying, that anyone can dress like that nowadays.
That's it. Yeah.
It's like
and to be honest, there's people dressing like that nowadays that don't even paint, brother. You know what I mean? Like there's back in the day, it was strictly like if you dress like that, you're a painter. Nowadays, people are just dressing like that and they're not.
Story,
you know what I mean? Yeah.
Like so like to us, it used to be if you dress that way, it means you make money.
Yeah.
That's what it meant. You know what I mean? It means you make money. You're a mad searcher. Or you're an armed robber. Nowadays, it's just anyone. Hippies dress like it.
100%.
Anyone can dress like it. You know what I mean? And I've made many videos about like, I know like I'm dressing back in Asics and that now, but like the fact that happened made me just dressing like Kmart clothes. Because I just don't like being the same. You know, and I like it when it meant something. And I used to always say this in videos, but I don't want to dress like that no more because it means nothing. Because everyone's so I'll just dress in Kmart clothes, bro. You know what I mean?
100%.
It's like, but then I sort of miss it and I go back to my. You know what I mean? And then
Yeah.
So, bro, tell me what's your name? DOA.
DOA, dead on arrival.
Dead on arrival. Yeah.
It's not like that. It means anything to me. It's just I heard it one time, thought it sounds mad. Fucking use it as my name, you know what I mean? I used to go under the name Automatic, but that was like well before I had anything, recorded or anything like that. Just rapping with my mates, you know what I mean? But DOA, dead on arrival, bro.
And how long have you been rapping for?
Oh, I'd say like consistently like since I was maybe about 20. I started rapping when I was like maybe 17, 18 years old. Linked with a good mate of mine, Bronx, and bro, he lived 2 minutes around the corner from me. We used to just meet up every morning, jump in the car, go paint, smoke a bunch of weed, just do like make music, make raps. He's actually the one who got me into rapping.
Oh yeah.
He used to have like this drum machine or like a beat maker MPC 500, and it was like it was battery powered as well. So we used to just put batteries in it, chuck the AUX in the car, and just cruise all day, all night, making beats, rapping, painting, all that type of shit. And then like it wasn't really like a thing I wanted to do every day. But I kept at it. And then, obviously got locked up, this and that. And then when I come out of jail the second time, I got introduced to Posse Shot. One of my good mates was mates with them. Got introduced to Posse Shot. They were doing their thing, obviously deep in the culture and that.
They're from around this area too.
They're from city, but they're from kind of the other side of the city. Right. But they're still holding it down, bro. It's not like just people from their area here and like the whole of Melbourne here, you know what I mean? Met them boys. Muscle's always telling me like, "Fuck, you got bars." Like they're always rapping, making tracks and that. And I thought, like you said, bro, at the start, you don't want to be like, you don't want to start rapping in front of everyone because then you get put on the gronk a bit. You know what I mean? That's what I thought it would have been like. And then I think we'll just kick it in the studio one day. Carney made a beat and we'll just writing rhymes and that. And I thought, fuck, I can't be fucked writing, bro. I'm just gonna jump in the booth and freestyle. You know what I mean? Jumped in the booth, freestyled what actually is the first release on my album, the first track on my album. And fuck, bro, the reception that I got when I got out of the booth was second to none, bro. Like it really, like Mus was just blown away. Carney was the only one that could hear it, bro, because he was obviously recording it. He's got the headphones on. He just gave me this look like that's proper, bro. You know what I mean? Like we haven't heard this shit in ages. Like we thought this was a dying, like a dead art. You know what I mean?
Well, so the first track you're saying you just went in there freestyle that
Yeah,
came out
freestyle.
and made a track out of it.
Yeah, made a track out of it. Just had it
Yeah,
recorded. Just had it recorded. Then I think it was a different beat initially, and then it got laid over a different beat. But yeah, just the reception from that, bro, just really got me going. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just think like these boys are deep in it. They're the ones here, bro. Like they're the ones that are doing it the most here. And just to say, like, just to get a good reception from them, really, like, because you rap and shit, and like, I don't know if you do the same thing when you're rapping, you're writing your rhymes, and then like you're spitting out loud, and you think, fuck, that line slapped. You know what I mean? Like whatever, you think that into yourself, but you never really have like the gratitude from everyone else. But just the reception that gave me, bro, really lit a fire under my ass. I recorded a track, I would say like a couple of months later. Still not really like having any direction to where I'm going with my rapping and that. And then just Carney put it to me one day saying that he wanted to start doing a whole bunch of solo projects. And yeah, bro, we just agreed to come in like once a week, maybe twice a week I think we did it for like 6 or 7 months straight, just kicking it every week. Not that we were recording something every week, but we just, put everything in motion. The boys would come lax it, like everyone would have their own input into the album, lyrics, everything, bro.
Yeah,
like I'm not
it's the
just,
best way.
Yeah, it's it, brother.
Yeah.
And now it is what it is.
Yeah,
we fucking done all the design, everything.
So, bro, like, it says you're under investigation for 3 years.
Yeah, bro.
Is that right?
Yeah. About 2.5, 3 years.
How did you end up? What was it dramatic when you got done?
Ah, fuck. Like,
Tell me, so
luckily we got time.
Where it got red hot.
So I mean, like, police really, like, I touch wood, but police really don't give a fuck about graffiti on the streets, brother. If you get caught on the spot, maybe they'll give a fuck. You know what I mean? But man, they'd be driving past tags and not even realizing they're on the wall. Trains a different story, bro, because what we were doing, there's a red light. So red lights are all along train lines. There's red lights that obviously the train drivers have got to abide by, like traffic lights.
Yeah.
And there's an old school. So at the bottom of every red light is an old school lever that when it gets pulled up, so when the lever's up, it's a red light. So then when it goes down, it's green. But it's all run by some dude at a computer. You know what I mean? Running it or whatever.
But that's the old manual way.
The old manual way, but it still works every time. So what we used to do is
you're stopping trains.
What you do is you pull the lever up and then you jam something underneath it so the lever can't actually fall back down, and the train light stays red the whole time. And I don't think they're obviously not allowed to drive through red lights on a train. You know what I mean? Because they don't know what the fuck's going on. Yeah. So they'd pull up at the red light, train would stop. We'd obviously smash it out. And there's certain trains that have like they're non-existent anymore. They're all getting scrapped. But there's certain trains that have an air release valve on the brakes at the end of every train. They're at the end of every train, and you just hit the air release valve and it lets all the air out the brakes. So the train can't move. So the train literally like.
So you stop the train.
Then
you disable the train.
Yeah, disable the train, and then like so you release
they're
it.
spewing.
Yeah, exactly. Now looking back on it, you obviously can see
and
why.
then all the trains coming behind.
That's it. Yeah,
fucked up.
We used to just hit the air release valve, paint whatever we wanted, and like it's not like the perfect crime, but police don't know that we're sitting where we're sitting, bro. There's a fucking million red lights on train lines, you know what I mean? So they can't pinpoint where we're going to be. So man, we have all the time in the world, you know what I mean? It's almost like the perfect crime in a sense. And we let the air out the brakes, paint whatever. Sometimes we leave the because you can obviously turn the valve back, and then the air's got to build back up. The train can't leave straight away. The air's got to build back up, and the train brakes, and then it can take off. But fuck, we just leave it there sometimes, don't even bother. It's like not our problem, you know what I mean? Did that so much that fucking obviously disrupted the system a fair bit. And Metro's obviously a $1 billion company or whatever it is. They need everything to be on time. That's their bread and butter.
So what's the train driver doing? So you stop his train, you disable his train.
Look, you'd have like the casual super citizen to get out, and like, oh man, look, honestly, there's been times where drivers got out and punched on with like people. My mate who passed away, he was painting one time, and the trains that we're talking about, they got the slide open doors. Painting the train, same thing, red light. Train driver somehow like obviously got out of the cabin, walked through the train, opened the train door, and just booted my mate straight in the head.
Oh, no
bro,
way.
Booted my mate straight in the head, bro. Anyways, he ended up going 1-on-1 with the train driver on the side of the train. But the train, there's fucking millions of people on the train, you know what I mean, watching this shit. But look, you get the casual super citizen and shit like that. But 9 times out of 10, bro, like people are really scared. Like you're doing a crime.
Bro, I didn't even take into account that these trains have people on them.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, so
that's
amongst all these, you're spraying windows and there's just people behind them.
People watching it. You have people that like it. You have people that are freaking out. You have people that don't even give a fuck. You know what I mean? But that's obviously what it got to. We obviously were doing that so much, and there's a group that Metro employ. It's like a security group. It's called APU. That's what they were called back when we were doing APU. stands for Asset Protection Unit or something like that. So it's like a privatised security company that Metro employs to police.
Task force.
They're not police though. No guns, no nothing like that. They try and
Yeah.
they think they are. You know what I mean?
And they'd be mad heroes.
Oh, bro, they're just bashing 15-year-old kids.
Oh,
That's all
it.
they're doing, brother.
Oh, that's it.
So their depots in the west too. So we used to like watch these dudes roll up in their personal cars at work, jump in the work car, and then fuck off and go and look for people trying to paint trains and that. You know what I mean?
Tell me you bomb their cars. Bomb their personal cars.
I won't get that deep, but yeah, bro. So we got onto that. Like we got onto obviously where like they're working in that. Figured out like their routes. We were obviously doing. Like not to fucking big note ourselves again. We were doing the most, bro. We held shit down, brother. Like not just saying that like you can say after it's all said and done that we did this. We actually fucking held it down, brother. Like no one painted the west side of the city. There's maybe 5 yards on the yards are like the be all and end all. If you're a train painter, bro, yards are the one. Like yards are the one you go and fucking you spend an hour in there if you want. You spend 10 minutes in there if you want. But you know what I mean, you're painting train yards. That's the pinnacle. We had 5 or 6 yards or maybe 4 or 5 yards out this way that they knew they're not to paint. Yep. You want to paint, you get permission from us. We take you, but you're probably taking us to your spot too after. You know what I mean? So yeah, we held it down. These APU security cunts would have just been like, "Fuck yeah, we'll try and find these blokes." And they ended up just like in our court, bro. In our court cases, they just said at the end of it, if we heard the SAS or WSM were painting, we weren't rocking up because there's a carload of them and there's 2 carloads of us. And bro, we got ticker about us, bro. We're not going to buckle to some dude chasing us out of some train yard. We'll go on with it. You know what I mean? They're 40-year-old dudes bashing 15-year-old kids. Yeah. Like you can tell that they're not, you know what I mean, not the strongest people. But just pulling all these red lights, disrupting the system. And what I was getting to is that like they at the end of it, at a certain point, they were solely focusing on us. Other riders would have had a field day, brother, because all they were doing was trying to pinch us for so long. You know what I mean? And they got onto it, the fact that we were pulling red lights a lot because we were pulling, bro. We were honestly pulling like, on average, I'd say like 10 a week, bro. Couple for in the week, and then we go hard on the weekends and do whatever. And certain spots, you're like, yeah, this is sweet. It was chill. We'll smash again in 3 days. And then they obviously got onto it, and they were waiting for us at spots. So what we used to do is we used to just drive out other side of the city, pull a whole bunch of red lights, not paint the trains. The train's going to stop regardless. Like, we don't have to paint it, you know what I mean? Pull a whole bunch of red lights. They'd probably get the call in, say, hey, these boys are an hour away. They're pulling red lights in Ringwood or something. All these boys, they'd all jump in. So we'd pull the red lights. We'd drive all the way back to the west. I'm telling you, bro, like, this actually happened a handful of times. We'd be driving back to the west and see them drive past us. Like, they don't know what. At this point, they don't have the traces and trackers and shit in our car and that. We watch them drive past, go over the bridge to the other side of the city, bro. We know we've got at least an hour and a half to do whatever the fuck we want to do. You know what I mean? We were just causing a ruckus. Then it just got to the point where they were like, we're not going to pinch them. We're just going to sit here, let them do their thing, create a database, I guess, of just the shit that we've done. And then obviously they've raided us one morning and just slapped us with a whole bunch of shit. You know what I mean? Like, just a whole, like 3 years of crime. You know what I mean?
So what? They come to your house, proper raids.
I think there was 12 houses that got raided that morning. Me and my mate who I was living with probably got the hecticest raid, bro. They flashbanged us everything, bro. Over graffiti, brother. Like, I'm like soggy's like to the task.
I would have used that explosives excuse.
That's what I mean. Yeah, and that was on the news. I even put that on the news, bro. So when we got raided, I was living with my mate, and he was on night shift. I was on day shift when we were working back then. My bedroom was at the back of the house. His was at the very front. As soon as you walk in the house, the first door on the left was his bedroom, and he had a bedroom window that faced the front of the house and that. Anyways, I was getting up for work and that 6 o'clock in the morning, having a shower and that. They all, for some reason, I don't know if it's like this these days. Transits always used to raid on 6 on the dot, bro. It was their forte, bro. Just 6 on the dot. They're always raiding you. I remember getting out of the shower and that, putting my underwear on, checking my phone, 6:01, and then the power got cut. And I just thought the power got cut. Oh fuck, you know what I mean? It's a blackout, whatever the fuck it is. But I hear window smashed, and I hear what I thought was gunshot, big bang. Then I hear another bang, bro, and then you hear all these people screaming, not identifying themselves as police. Just get on the ground, yada yada yada. My bedroom door's closed. The power was cut. All I could see was these lights underneath the door, brother, like flickering the torch lights on their guns and that. End up being that like the bangs were flashbangs. They flashbanged my mate twice. So he's sleeping, the poor cunt. They've flashbanged him in his room through the house, breached the door, gone in, flashbanged him again, and then just would have caved him. You know what I mean? Poor cunt. You know what I mean? Yeah, and then I'm just hearing all this commotion and shit. And I remember I had a baseball bat in my room, bro. Just a baseball bat sitting there, and I was like, you could hear that there was 5+ people in this house, you know what I mean?
Stomping
around. And I'm just like back against the wall in the corner with this baseball bat thinking, bro, anyone that comes in here this is just going to get swung, you know what I mean? But the door got booted off the hinges, like clean off the hinges, like how it would in the movie. And because it's like it was all dark, power was cut, you could just see like the light from their torch. It was like, bro, the door got kicked off the hinges. You could see all the dust settling, and then all these soggies, you know, bellied up, fucking AR-15s or whatever they've got, telling me to get on the ground. They ended up, just cave, like, bro, hitting you with the gun, stomping you back of the head. This
they come in and drill you?
Bro, yeah, they're not there. You know what I mean? They're trigger happy, bro. They're hoping someone does something so they can knock up. Yeah, bro, and they just fucking slapped us with that because we had like.
So what did you get charged with exactly?
Bro, there was so much, bro.
Yeah.
I think initially when they raided us, because bro, there was 12 houses that got raided, and they've, like I said, 3 years of investigation, bro. I think initially when we got raided, I had something like 380 charges, bro, 380 charges, and my mate who was living with me too had roughly 500. And then obviously they raid us, they find evidence to other crimes, or whatever, evidence to pinpoint other shit that they've been investigating that they can't prove. I think mine got bumped
like
up.
Photos and that? Is that still a thing? I remember, when people used to make photo albums or their graphs.
So
they used to get done
it's
like
pretty
that.
much solely the reason to do it, bro.
Yeah.
Like you paint a train, bro, the thing's not going to run forever.
Of
so
course,
you get your photo
away,
and it's chill, you know what I mean? We had the photos, like it's all on SD cards and shit.
Yeah.
We had the photos stooped at a house that you wouldn't even fathom this house getting raided. Funnily enough, it gets raided the same day as us. They find all the evidence to that. Just
spewing.
It just, you know what I mean? It's just, and we were young, bro. Like, you live and you learn, you know what I mean? Obviously, if we had a chance at it again, it'd be a bit different. We'd have it in a safer spot. But yeah, and then they raid you. They find clothes that match your whereabouts here. And bro, they had our phones tapped. They had our cars tapped. Our cars traced, bro. Like we were pinched, brother. Like there's nothing you can really do. It just got to the point. It was like, all right, what's the lesser sentence we can get?
Yeah,
now?
so you're just looking for a deal as opposed.
That's
to...
That's what I mean. Yeah.
And so what happened? You went on remand?
No, so
refused?
initially, bro, it's crazy to say that. Initially, I got bail on the day. 380 charges, bro, and you get bail on the day. It's pretty.
From the cop station or the court?
So no, from the cop station.
Oh, dead set.
So they raid us.
Yeah.
Look, there was
a big dramatic raid like that, and then they give you
bro,
bail.
I'm telling you, there would
Buy
have
your McChicken meal and then give you bail.
There was there was at least 200 different police officers that come through the house that day because there was something in the house that they couldn't search the house unless they had to get this thing removed. They had to get this thing removed from the house, and they couldn't search the house until it was removed because they had to cut the power and they had to sort everything out. Yada yada yada. So, bro, I was handcuffed for like 6-7 hours in my house, just sitting there like this. And they're not raiding it at this point. You know what I mean? They're not raiding at this point, and they're trying to do the matey like sit down, hey mate, you want a ciggy? This and that's fucking. I don't even talk about that. Like I don't even answer their questions. I don't even give them a no comment. Just sit there in silence, you know. And yeah, I reckon about 6 hours went past, and then they decided to raid. They take us to the jack shop in the city, and the transit shop. They put us in the interview room. Brother, they come in with when we got there, I could see my matey who I was living with was there. Another matey was there. They come in with like binders, bro. Everyone had an individual binder. And they had an operation. It was called Operation Samurai. That's what they called it. That was their their label for it.
Strike Force.
Yeah, Strike Force. You know what I mean? So they come in with these binders, Operation Samurai. Then it'd have my name, and then it'd have like aliases underneath it, and all our graph names, all our different graph names and shit. And bro, the books were fucking fat, bro. Because I said, 3 years of investigation and shit. You know. I got bailed. Like I got let out on the day. Got bailed on the day. 2 of my mateys got locked up. I think it was like for 8 days or something. Just remanded. And then they got out eventually, bro. And I think we were on bail for maybe like a year. Yeah. My matey was having troubles at home, this and that. Didn't have anywhere to live. So if you got nowhere to live on bail, they pretty much and you just go to jail on that. Yeah. He got chucked into jail. This is about a year after we got raided. I think 2-3 months after that, I was just over it, bro. Like, we're going to court. We're just going to court so much, bro. Like 3-4 times a week. Not every week, but when we're going to court, we're there for like 3-4 times a week. I just thought, fuck it, bro. I'm just gonna revoke my own bail, go in, do my time. By the time sentencing comes around, I'll have time served, and I might only have like 6-7 months to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I pulled my own bail and that, and the
So after a year bail, you pulled your own
I
bail.
pulled my own bail. So revoke it. I don't want to, like, you know what I mean? If I can get in there now and do my time and get time served, we're chilling. The magistrate wigged out, bro. Like,
I was about to say that. They'll be spinning out on you.
Wigged out, bro. They took all his glasses off. And he's
Get
looking
him a mental health check. What do you
looking
mean?
at my lawyer, and he's like, are you sure? And my lawyer turns around to me and asks, and then goes, yeah, Your Honour, he's pretty sure. Anyways, they locked it. They locked me up. This and that. Did like, I think it was about 4 months, and then because I was on my own terms, I don't think they liked that, bro. Like, I don't think that they liked me going in on my own terms, because obviously, not that I was comfortable, but like I'm more comfortable than the average person who might be going to jail. Yeah. And like they don't get their pinch, you know what I mean? The Jacks don't get their pinch. So I had court, the first time I had court after I got locked up the first time, bro, they gave me bail without even me asking. Like I just come into court one day and they did whatever, and then they put us in recess, and then we come back in, and like normally, because I think I had like about 9 co-accused. They used to sit us all in a row in court, all in a row from like the severity, so like the most severe to the least severe, and it was always like we all get seen at the same time. They all re-bail us at the same time, this and that, and then I one day at court I just get chucked back in the courtroom, and I'm on my own, and it was a bit weird. And then I walk in, my lawyer's like, "Oh, you're going home," and I was a bit like, bro, it's not what I'm fucking...
After 4 months?
After 4 months, bro. Like, it's not what I'm fucking... And my lawyer's telling me, you're doing a year. Like, you're doing minimum, you're doing a year. You know what I mean? He was pretty on the money, too, because I got 2 over 1, chilling. They ended up getting bail, this and that, and then I was on bail for like maybe another 10 months. So that's, bro, that's
so this
like...
is going on 2 years now.
This is 2 years after the 3-year investigation.
Yeah.
So, and then plus the 16 months that I was locked up, it's like a 7-year process, you know what I mean? 10,
True way.
Yeah, so 10 months out after I got bail, and then get locked up, and like when we got sentenced, copped the 2 of the 1, got the...
Did they backdate that 4 months?
Bro, so... I only got like half of it backdated.
Oh yeah.
I think because there was like bail breaches in the time, and they
gave you 2 months of it.
Yeah. Just give me 2 months of it, which meant fuck all, anyways. You know what I mean? But to be honest, you take the 2 months rather than nothing.
Of course, yeah. So you went in 10 months to go.
No. So I had 10. No, I had 10 months. The 10 months on bail, and then I got slapped with 2 years. Had 2 months off that 2 years, and then I ended up getting parole after 15, 16 months.
All right.
Yeah. So I had 15, 16 months, and then got parole, and then had like 8 months parole or 6 months parole out here. And that's when I met Carney and Muss. That's when I met Carney and Muss, when I was on parole and that. And it's just the album. That's what it's made now.
Yeah, hectic. So when did you get out? When did all of that end?
April. So I got parole April last year.
Yeah.
Start of April.
So all of this just ended last year.
Bro,
all from bombing what? Back in sounds like 2015.
Back in like 2015, bro. And I only finished parole November last year.
Yeah.
So it's...
Well, the boys in there spinning out. Like, what are you in for? Bro, I'm in for graffiti.
Yeah,
and they're like,
bro.
come on, bro.
It's like, bro, it has its good and its bad things too, because like you go in there's not many graffiti writers, and then like, bro, like I don't really have the passion for it that the boys have, bro. All the boys are like mad artistic with it, you know what I mean? Like they could sketch all day, paint all day. But I actually just like to do it because it was like a bit of like fuck the system thing, you know what I mean? I was never that good. Like I was like, you got the boys in the crew that have been doing it for ages that have, you know what I mean, the best going around. But man, I just did it for like the just the damage, I guess. And then you go to jail and like
just the damage.
That's it. And you go to jail and you're the only graph writer, and everyone's like, bro, do this for me, do that. And it's like, bro, I don't even like doing it on the outside, let alone in here. You know what I mean?
Everyone trying to give you a buy up to do up fucking papers for them.
Four packets of megarine for a sketch, bro. You can leg it. But that was it, bro.
Your mate was saying before the triple double.
Yeah.
Tell me, brother.
Triple double, yeah. It's triple whole cart, half train.
Yeah.
Boxing Day, it would have been like 2016, maybe 2017. I think one of the boys was just on YouTube, bro, mad cooks, just on YouTube watching, like you've got videos of like the train driver just chucks like a GoPro on the front of the train, does his route up and down, but he's filming the whole train line. So one of our mates used to just jump on that, watch it, and then look for spots or something, you know what I mean? Like you don't have to drive an hour to the other side of the city to look for spots in that. We ended up finding this red light that I was explaining to you before. This red light that happened to be at the end of an old abandoned like train platform. It was like a train station that was made for workers in an industrial area back in the day. But when we figured out that we could stop this train on the platform, it was just like, bro, it was like a pig in shit, brother. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
just like, this is it. Yeah, Boxing Day, I think about 6:30, 7 a.m. in the morning. There was about 15 of us. 15 of us who went down there. I think there was only 10 of us, bro. There was 10 of us because it was 3 a carriage and then one of the boys on the outline.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, we 3 of us were on a carriage each. So it was a lot of SAS as the crew. One carriage of the train was top to bottom, end to end, like the whole thing painted, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
One letter was S, the next one was A, the last one was S.
Hectic.
Yeah, half train. Look, man, I don't know anyone who's ever done that.
Yeah. So the triple is 3 carriages.
So a whole car is a whole. So the train cars are in six carts. You
Yep.
know what I mean? There's 1, 2, 3, the brake, and then another 3. Yeah, whole car is just one of these carts, whole end to end, top to bottom, and the triple dub, so triple whole cart. Yeah, and then we smashed that like 6:37 in the morning. Bro, it was all over the news and that. Bro, and the thing is too, the news told us it was 11 minutes, bro. We smashed this thing out single digits. 9 minutes it took us to do a half a train, bro.
Yeah.
In service, we pulled the air release valve, all that shit that I was explaining before. Yeah, bro, ran like to paint a train and then to get it to run to the city. That's what it is. That's the mad. You get the rolling footage of the thing you just painted. But the cruise SAS stopping all stations, so that was pretty much what it was. You know what I mean?
Mad.
Stopped all stations all the way to the city on Boxing Day, bro. Probably one of the biggest days that people are in. You know what I mean? Melbourne City. Ran all the way to the city.
And you got the footage?
Mad footage. One of the boys obviously had the footage on his head and that. The funny thing is, bro, like, in the footage one of the boys there's like obviously being a train station, there's an old like shelter that back in the day you would have kicked it under if it was raining and that. There's fucking 10 of us all huddled up in this little shelter and watching this train pull in, and then as soon as the train pulls in you just see us filter out and just go nuts with it and that. I think that was honestly like the straw that broke the camel's back, bro. After that, they were just like, we cannot fucking have this.
Yeah,
like,
because it was too dramatic.
Yeah, I think that was Boxing Day, and we got raided like a couple months after, but like they would have fucking put everything in motion. Like this cannot happen, anymore. And
let me ask you, bro. Like, he's had the vests.
Yeah.
And keys for the train yards. How he's come about that? Facebook Marketplace.
The black market. Bro, look, man, people like everyone's complacent, bro. We'd be walking in train yards and like a cleaner would probably be hot one day, take his vest off and leave it there and forget about it, and you just stumble across it. You know what I mean? Train keys. There's, some stories you could probably tell how you get them and some you can't. You stumble across some people are selling them. There's other ways you can get them. But bro, once you have that, it's game over, bro. You got literally like the whole point of it is like, going to a train yard. You've got to sit back. You got to chop a hole. You got to jump in, whatever, bro. We just had the keys, walk straight into the gate, like we own the joint. You know what I mean? So I think there was maybe 3 of us had our own set of keys. So we're just running the muck, doing whatever, and it just makes it so much easier. Like it takes away a good hour of the process. If you just got the keys, you can just watch the yard, key in straight away, paint, leave. You know what I mean? You don't have to worry about sitting in there waiting, see who's waiting to chop the hole, this and that.
Yeah, mate.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, fucking know. So since you've been out now, since last year, you've just been concentrating on the rap.
Yep.
With Posse Shot.
Posse Shot, brother. They've paved the path for me, bro. I really appreciate it for them boys.
Yeah.
Look, I wouldn't have been able to. I honestly wouldn't be able to be here if it wasn't for them. You know what I mean?
Yep.
They hooked it up. They got in contact with Kev, that wrote the book, and he obviously hooked this up with Ada and Nick and that. And so I got them to thank a lot. Thank a lot for. You know what I mean?
Hectic. And your album has been out how long?
The album's only been out not even a month, brother.
Not even a month?
Yeah. I got a copy for you here too. So before
beautiful.
you go, I'll give you one.
Yeah, because I haven't heard it.
I'll give you a copy before I go. We just did that, and bro, there's no disadvantage making music. You know what I mean? There's no negative. It's all positive. You know what I mean? I try and input my boys in it too. If they have any mad ideas, like a lot of design and shit like that. I have to lift a finger, bro. I've got a crew of burners, man, that you know what I mean? I don't have to lift a finger. Yeah. They're doing all the designs for me. I've just got to really worry about the rap and that, and just the direction of where it's going.
That's smart.
Met them boys, met the Posse Shot boys.
You gonna start doing shows?
Yeah, I just done a show with Onyx.
Yeah,
Onyx MPS as well, and a couple other.
That's Sticky Fingers, right?
Yeah. It was mad, bro.
Yeah.
Fuck, they're professional, bro. They're really professional. I'm up there for 20 minutes sweating, bro, like sweating, and these boys jump on for an hour and kill it, bro. Like,
That's it.
Kill it, bro. It was mad. It was good to see,
You
bro.
gotta pace yourself, eh?
Yeah, I know,
It's like
bro.
a boxing match,
That's
eh?
it, that's
They're seeing
it.
you going out, going hard. They're
Yeah,
like,
that's
chill,
it,
brother. You gotta
yeah.
breathe, bro.
That's it. But speaking about boxing, I know you're into UFC.
Yep.
Yeah, you watched the weekend?
I did. I love it.
Pereira and
Yeah, it
Adesanya.
was the best. I
How
don't want to
hec-
say too much, but
How
I love
hectic was
Pereira,
that?
bro. It was a
Yeah,
maddest
bro.
fight.
He's a machine, bro.
Yeah, he's a.
So you've got aspirations to go on UFC too, huh?
I've got aspirations to be the best in the world
Yeah.
at every single
Standard.
thing I do. So
Standard.
if you ask me, I'm next heavyweight UFC
Yeah,
champion.
100%.
Realistically,
Fuck Francis Ngannou, bro.
Yeah, fuck him, brother. Fuck him, bro.
Yeah.
Well, you should see my right snap kicks, but
Yeah.
he's gone. He's never faced anyone like me.
That's it.
But realistically, bro, like I love the sport and
Yeah.
I'll do my best at it.
Yeah. I'm full
Going
nerd
into
for it,
the
bro.
UFC, let's
Yeah.
be real, I'm 36 years old. I'm
Yeah.
starting last week.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
if you're going to ask the
No
brain
time like the
part of
present,
me,
bro.
if you're going to
Yeah.
ask the brain part of me, I'll just be happy just pumping anyone.
Yeah,
If
100%.
you're going to ask the spirit part of me, I'm
Yeah.
next UFC champion. Brother.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Watch the money come.
Hard, yeah. Training 6:30 every morning. I'm taking it serious. Starting off
bro.
just striking.
Yep.
Everyone has to have their speciality.
100%.
So I don't want to go in there and just be the jack of all
Yeah,
trades. I'm a
100%.
natural striker. So for the next 6, 7, 8 months, I just want to master striking.
Yep.
Dutch kickboxing style.
Yep.
Best striking on earth, Dutch
Yep.
kickboxing. And then when I get that down pat, we'll chuck in the wrestling defense. And it may be a year from now, it may be 14 months from now, but when the appropriate people think I'm ready to fight and it's safe for me to fight and I'll win,
Yep.
then I'll fight, brother.
Yeah,
whenever
man.
that
Fuck,
be.
keen to see that, bro.
Yeah,
If
but
that-
even the training's hectic.
If that somehow correlated where you were into the UFC, bro, that'd be mad.
Imagine that.
Watching two cultures mix would
Yeah,
be fresh. as.
imagine that.
Yeah, imagine that clout that you will get from that
Yeah.
would be hectic.
You love MMA?
Bruh,
Yeah,
I love
it's
it.
the best.
Full nerd. It's the only
Yeah.
sport I watch, I reckon.
It's same, brother.
Yeah.
I can watch kickboxing.
Yeah.
I've always loved kickboxing.
Yeah.
Since I was young, watching like Van Damme movies like
Yeah,
Kickboxer,
yeah,
Bloodsport.
yeah,
I always thought kickboxing, bro. So
Mad.
I've never really been into boxing.
Yeah, okay.
Like when I watch boxers, I'm just thinking like, bro, what about those Van Damme days? The
Yeah.
big snap kicks, you know?
Yeah.
So then when I started getting into kickboxing, watching Glory and stuff, K1,
Yeah.
thought that's the shit.
That's
and
the
then they
magic, yeah.
introduced like the wrestlers in it and made it MMA, and I thought that's the best
Yeah.
thing on earth.
Yeah.
You can't beat it.
Yeah.
It's the ultimate gladiator test that
Yeah.
it's the closest thing we got
Yeah.
to gladiator days. You know what I mean? Yeah.
100%. It's modern day gladiators.
It is,
100%,
yeah.
bro.
And the weekend fights were hectic.
Yeah, bro. I was literally saying that today. Like, it was 6 hours of just mad fights, bro.
Yeah.
I think they had,
Poirier's fight with Chandler was crazy
Oh,
too. That
bro.
You know, that doesn't get spoken about actually because of Adesanya and such a big fight.
Yeah.
Their fight was mental.
hectic, yeah.
Hey, how,
Bro, Michael Chandler, he's lost 4 out of his 5 UFC fights, bro. I'd pay to watch him every single day.
Yeah.
He hasn't even won.
Oh, has he?
Yeah, I think he's lost,
he's lost
4.
because
he won his
was
first
the
fight.
Bellator, the man.
Yeah, insane, bro. He
Well,
won
that
his
shows
first
the
fight.
difference between Bellator and
Yeah,
UFC.
You seen that Bellator fight? I can't remember who was fighting, but he snaps his ankle mid-fight.
No, I didn't see it.
Bro, he snaps his ankle like at the start of the fight, but still goes on with it. And every time he goes to
that's it.
step forward, his ankle just buckles underneath him, and he's
Oh,
like,
what?
he's running like on the side of his leg, bro. It's hectic,
That's
like, and he
fucking
still goes on with it.
cringe,
I
bro.
can't remember.
cringe
If,
when I see that shit.
I
Like,
think he honestly might have won too.
No way.
Don't quote me on that, but I think he honestly might have won, or it went pretty, pretty
Yeah.
close to the distance. But yeah, he's had 5 fights. I'm pretty sure he won his first fight against Dan Hooker
Mm-hmm.
and lost everyone since. But every single fight, bro, that fight with Justin Gaethje was hectic.
Yeah,
You
I didn't see that.
bro. You
Yeah.
have to watch that.
Yeah, was it?
Fight of the year last year.
yeah.
it was-
In that weight class, but there's a lot of machines,
yeah.
eh?
They'd say it's the best weight class in UFC.
Yeah.
Eh?
That's all
McGregor's
that's
weight
all
class.
middleweight, yeah.
Khabib. All
Oh, no,
them.
they're light.
Yeah, lightweight.
They're
lightweight.
lightweights.
Yeah, lightweights.
No. What am I talking about? Adesanya's middleweight.
Middleweight, yeah.
Yeah.
They say that lightweight's the deepest division
Yep.
in UFC, but I mean, you know what I mean? Who knows?
What's your favorite division?
I'd probably say lightweight, just because
Yeah.
there's like, bro, their top 10's hectic.
Yeah.
Like, that's where McGregor made his, paved his path,
Yeah,
getting
yeah.
the double champ status. That's where that fucking big ass fight with Khabib happened after the fight went down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd say, but man, look,
I straight out, I gotta say, unpopular opinion. I don't believe in pound for pound.
I
believe
don't
in
know
it.
how they figure that
I don't
shit
like
out,
those
bro.
words, bro. Pound for pound. He's the best fighter, pound for pound. And so what I think, bro, is just like, if you're small, bro, like that's bad luck.
Yeah.
It should just be looked at
Because
like.
pound for pound, if you put fucking say,
It's like saying Adesanya's the best pound for
Yeah, if you
pound,
put-
or Islam Makhachev is
Chev
best.
is-
And I put him against Ngannou.
Yeah,
and we'll
exactly,
see who's a
exactly,
better fighter.
exactly,
So for
brother.
that reason, like I just love heavyweights.
Yeah.
Lightweight fights are a gun too.
Yeah.
But I always look at them with perspective of they're fighting people who are safe to fight.
Yeah,
yeah,
100%,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So
and they kind of they pick Look, bro, like as much as I love Volkanovski, bro, you put him in there with Ngannou, bro, he's getting minced. He's getting minced, brother. Yeah, any heavyweight.
But yeah. That's why. So like, I love heavyweights and light heavyweights. I actually think light heavyweights. That's the balance for me.
Yeah, bro. Back in the day when it was like a bit taboo, UFC, light heavyweight was the one, bro. Jon Jones,
Jon Jones,
Chuck Liddell, or, you know what I mean? That was mad back then. I think it's a bit like my opinion now. I think that's a dead end fucking division, bro. Like there's not much going on there anymore.
Yeah,
they don't really hype it much anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I said, back in the day, Tito Ortiz, Chuck Liddell, Jon Jones, all them were deep in.
You know why? Because I think the lighter ones are better to watch. Because when you're watching on TV and you don't have the perspective, you're not standing in front of them, so you can't gauge the size of people. So it's irrelevant.
Yeah.
And you watch heavyweights who really will kill you with one punch, but it looks shit.
Yeah, it does.
But so you know what I mean? It's not as
less form but more power, and then when you go down the
it's just
more,
crazy.
It's more form,
Bruce
less
Lee's
power.
just going off like that. So
spinning kicks,
better
this
to
and that.
watch. Yeah, you know what I
more
mean?
entertaining. Yeah. That's why it's good to see. Like that Cyril Gain. He's a heavyweight. He's mad agile for his size. You know what I mean?
I like his fighting style.
Yeah, it's mad.
He's actually fucking he's massive too.
For a big dude, that's why I just want to see Jon Jones in the heavyweight division, bro. That would be hectic.
I know.
Yeah.
How do you think he will go?
Heck, I reckon
he's going to fight Ngannou, eh? Is that who he's going to fight?
No one knows until you see, bro.
Eh?
Everyone's saying that he's supposed to fight Miocic and shit, but I reckon he just mince Stipe. I just don't think there's anyone better, bro. Like, so well-rounded, bro. Like,
you're right.
He's never lost. The only disqualification was because he fucking 12-6 elbowed this dude that he was caving for fucking 15 minutes beforehand anyways. You know what I mean?
Look, I agree that there is no one skillful and mentally better as a fighter ever.
Yeah.
And I love Jon Jones.
Yeah. And he's a killer, bro. In real life, he's a mad, like he's a hunter, bro.
Yeah. And he has the mind to overcome any challenge that's been put to him.
Yeah.
But I don't know, bro, like...
It's just a different world, bro, stepping into that.
Yeah, bro, like when you got someone who's a natural 92 kilo man and he's versing someone that's naturally 122 kilos with abs that can punch, it's just like, I don't know, bro. Like, are your blocks and is your clinch really that relevant?
Don't get me wrong, like people in light heavyweight would have that one punch knockout power. But you wouldn't want to get tagged in heavyweight, bro.
Yeah,
you wouldn't get tagged.
Those heavyweights, bro, you can't even block their punches.
Yeah, bro. Look at Derek Lewis, bro. He's that unfit. But bro, you can cop one punch from him, you're out. You're lights out, brother.
Yeah, Bam.
Yeah. Bro, that's someone you should get on the podcast, bro.
Yeah,
someone I want to see on the
he's
podcast.
Coming. It's been floating around there for ages. He's just a busy man.
Yeah, 100%. Doesn't even live in Australia, I think.
No, he's
Abu
probably
Dhabi.
barely ever here.
Yeah. That would be mad. Because he's obviously same city.
Yeah.
Probably know the same boys, this and that.
Yeah. And I talk to him.
Yeah.
It's just he's busy. Yeah. We'll get it cranking. Anyway, my bro, thank you.
See you, cunt.
Hectic yarn, brother.
Good to meet you.
You too, bro.
Take care, brother.
It's